Justin thought of how the doctor in the hospital had been singing the praises of the genius who'd performed the emergency operation. He nodded to Lawrence eagerly. Okay. Unfortunately, as soon as the two of them entered the lobby, one of Justin's other staff walked over. In a hushed voice, he said, "Mr. Hunt, some of your relatives are here. They've gone up to your room." Justin's expression darkened when he heard this. As he strode over to the elevator, he asked, "When did they arrive?" "They went up 5 minutes ago. The front desk and lobby manager weren't able to stop them. The hotel belongs to them, after all." "A bunch of good-for-nothings," Justin cursed angrily as he entered the elevator. Lawrence sighed silently. "I won't be any help with the situation upstairs." He went to the control room by himself. In the presidential suite, on the top floor, Pete clenched his fists and looked at the people in front of him, his eyes red. More than a dozen bodyguards dressed in black were glaring at one another as they faced off. Chester stood between them and Pete, an awful look on his face. He said, "What are you doing here, Howard? Justin won't let you off when he gets back." Howard Hunt, the man in front of Chester, was his second cousin. He smiled sinisterly and said, "This has nothing to do with you, Chester. Get out of the way. I'm here on Grandpa's orders to bring that disrespectful little back to the family home." Chester wasn't going to let that happen. "Whatever it is that you want to do, you have to wait until Justin gets back. You're not taking that kid anywhere now." Howard's expression turned even colder and he spat out, "What makes you think you're so important, Chester? You can't stop me. You're worthless, and you couldn't care less about this family. Get lost." Chester was so furious that his face flushed and he started trembling. "Who does Howard think he is, marching in here like this? Justin's taken the pressure off me, that's all. That's why I can spend so much time gaming. And Pete's my team leader. There's no way this is happening on my watch." He said angrily, "I won't let you." Howard cracked his knuckles. He was obviously highly skilled in a fight, and it didn't look like he was planning on leaving without one. "Don't blame me if I don't hold back then." As soon as he said it, another icy cold voice reached them. "And what exactly are you planning on not holding back on?" Howard stiffened. He immediately withdrew his fists and gave the new arrival his best attempt at an ingratiating smile. "Justin, you're back." Justin walked over to stand in front of Chester and Pete, blocking them from Howard with his body. His gaze was fixed on Howard's. "Who said you could come here?" Fear flashed in Howard's eyes. "He sounds like he wants to kill me." He scratched his nose and replied with a smile, "I didn't want to come here and fight with you, believe me. But these are Grandpa's orders. He said that since you've returned with that disrespectful boy, you need to come back to the family home. Then you can discuss how Pete should be." Justin took a step forward grimly. "Why does he need to be punished?" Howard took a step back, visibly frightened. "Why are you playing dumb, Justin? There's something wrong with that boy. How nice has your grandmother been to him? But they had a disagreement and he pushed her down the stairs. It's what caused her brain hemorrhage. She's still lying in hospital with her life in danger. Someone has to answer for it." The reason the Hunt family had kept their highly sought-after, influential position in the States was that a large family like theirs held great power. They had a network of relatives and other connections across all kinds of different industries all over the country. Justin lived in New York now, but the family home had always been in California. Large groups of family members would always head back there to spend their holidays together. Disciplinary action was also carried out there, when they were deemed necessary by the head of the family. Justin had always respected his granduncle, Timothy, who was now the head of the family and in charge of the ancestral home. Howard was Timothy's grandson, so he was the one who would take on that responsibility in the future. Justin narrowed his eyes frostily at Howard. "I told you, it wasn't Pete." Howard shrugged. "Do you have any proof? Because we have witnesses. They've confirmed that Pete was upstairs when it happened, and that the two of them were arguing." Justin clenched his jaw. "I'm looking for Dr. Athena to get her to help Grandma." Howard was unimpressed. "No one knows who Dr. Athena is or how to find her. What makes you think you'll manage it?" Justin held his ground. here myself if that's what it takes. Justin, my side of the family is really angry that you're staying here with Pete. There's a whole load of trouble brewing. Howard cast a disdainful glance at Pete and went on. Besides, who knows where the boy came from? We don't even know who his mother is, and he has a learning disability. Nobody's convinced he's the right choice to be your heir. Grandpa asked me to talk to you about all of this. You're still young and healthy, Justin. Wouldn't it be nice to have another child? Give up on this one. Justin's eyes flashed dangerously, but he somehow kept his voice calm. You'll keep quiet if you know what's good for you. Pete is my son. He's the only son I'll ever have. Howard was intimidated. He respected and feared Justin, but he also feared his grandfather. I have to stand my ground here. I'm certain that Pete's not good enough, but family loyalty dictates that I must treat Justin with courtesy. His grandfather had told him that Justin was different, whatever that meant, that he had secrets, and it was important not to push him too far. After a few moments of silence, Howard took a step back and lowered his head as he said, My side of the family's making a lot of noise. Next weekend, Grandpa will hold a family meeting. If you can't prove Pete's innocence by then, they'll expel him from the family. He turned and strode out. Chester panicked. What do we do, Justin? Justin didn't answer. He looked grim but determined. The ideal solution is to find Athena and have her prove Pete's innocence. But if we can't find her, then what? If his father had not been so insistent that he needed to maintain the family connections, he would never have bothered himself with all the ridiculous internal politics. But now, they think they can expel my son just like that? Well, they've got another think coming. It's time someone else took over as head of the family. A sharp look flashed across Justin's eyes. He turned and looked at his son, his voice gentle and mellow as he said, There's nothing to be afraid of, Pete. Pete lowered his head and walked off into the study. His thoughts were spinning. I'm not afraid. Great-grandma was really nice to me. That's why I didn't say anything about the tutors she sent, even though they were so horrible. I kept quiet because I didn't want her to take the blame. Her life's still in danger and she has no way of speaking up for me. I don't want Great-grandma to die. After his dejected nephew left the room, Chester took his leave and returned to his suite next door. He sighed and logged onto his game. Hang on, why is Sweet Cherry online? I thought Pete was feeling down. He was taken aback for a moment. Then he connected to the voice chat and said, Here I was thinking you were feeling down and out. I wasn't expecting you to still be in the mood to play games. Downstairs, Cherry blinked when she heard him. What's happened to Pete? She asked, Why would I be sad? Chester replied, That's right. Don't worry about it. Your father will definitely find Dr. Athena, and he'll prove your innocence too. Cherry's curiosity was piqued even further. What's Pete supposed to have done? Pete had told her that Uncle Chester wasn't the sharpest tool in the box, so Cherry happily probed him for information, with peace of mind that their secret wouldn't be found out. Once she'd learned what had happened, Cherry quickly hung up. She felt sad for her brother. Why is Pete so unlucky? First he was bullied by his tutors, and now he's being accused of something he didn't do. I know Mummy's always sleeping, but I don't think anyone's ever been unkind to me. How have I got it so easy compared to him? It's no wonder Mummy said big families are trouble. Now I get why I'm not allowed to tell anybody that she's Dr. Athena. I don't think I have a choice now, though. Cherry sent her brother a text message. I'm going to tell you a big secret, Pete. Back in his study, Pete saw the message on his phone and replied immediately. What is it? Uncle Chester said that Daddy's been looking for Dr. Athena. Do you know who Athena is? Pete wasn't sure, but he had a strange feeling he knew what Cherry was going to tell him next. Sure enough, she sent him another message. Mummy is Athena. Pete's eyes widened as he stared at the words. He suddenly remembered how Mummy had told him to head upstairs first when they were on their way back this afternoon. Then she'd gone to treat the patient who'd collapsed in the hotel lobby. He was about to send another message to Cherry when he got a voicemail from her. It sounded like she was hiding in the bathroom and whispering. She said, Mummy's been saying that Daddy is trouble and she doesn't want to treat our great-grandma's illness because she's afraid that she'll be dragged into a massive family argument. What should we do? Downstairs, Cherry sat on the toilet seat, resting her chin in her hands, feeling very worried. How can we get Mummy to treat great-grandma? Her cell phone vibrated. Pete's reply reassured her straight away. That's easy. He went on to explain his idea to Cherry. In the study, Nora, dressed in a nightgown, slouched comfortably on her chair. She was deep in concentration as her fingers tapped lightly on her keyboard. She was destroying the surveillance camera's footage of the events in the lobby earlier on. I have to stay low-key. I've got to get rid of the evidence. No one can know it was me who performed that surgery. I can't let anyone, especially Justin Hunt, find out I'm medically trained. He's probably already suspicious after that whole thing in the operating room. Nora stretched. She was about to turn her thoughts back to the anonymous email she'd received that afternoon, when a new one arrived in her inbox. Nora was curious. Another anonymous email. Do something for me, and I'll send your son to your doorstep. Operate on the elderly Mrs. Hunt and cure her. She stared at this new email for a very long time. She wanted to reach through the internet and catch the mastermind behind it. Why are they staying anonymous? I can't reach out and reply to them, even if I wanted to. I don't know whether to believe it or not. If Justin was the one that sent it, then this bargain makes sense. But was it him? I was avoiding doing the operation because I didn't want any trouble. But if I really can get my son back, a little trouble's not an issue. I'll just have to sleep a little less, that's all. After thinking it through, she stood up. If I do decide to treat Mrs. Hunt, I'll have to go through Justin for sure. But how am I going to let him know how impressive my medical skills are without revealing my identity as Athena? She looked back at the computer. Is it too late for me to try restoring the camera footage? In the study upstairs, Lawrence said falteringly, The surveillance cameras are broken and there's signs the system's been hacked. Mr. Hunt, do you have a spare moment? He'd got a few of their own hackers to try and fix the cameras and restore the footage, but they hadn't been successful. Justin was irritated. Why are you disturbing me for something as trivial as that? Lawrence lowered his head, feeling terribly useless. I thought I was doing the right thing bringing it to Justin. The company has so many tech experts, but even they couldn't handle it. He gave a sheepish smile and said, I'm busy. Justin snapped at him. He stood up and left the study. He went over to the bedroom and stood in front of the door, calling out, I'm coming in, Pete. After the drama from Howard in the presence of so many bodyguards, Pete would undoubtedly be in a bad mood. He must be scared. I've given him some time to cool down, but I can't possibly leave him alone in his room all the time. We need to have a good heart-to-heart. Maybe he'll open up to me. Before he opened the door and went inside, he looked back at Lawrence and ordered, No visitors, no matter who it is. Lawrence headed dejectedly toward the front door. It's understandable that Justin wants to spend some time with Pete after all those people showed up. I get it, I do. But the Andersons also want information about the woman who saved Simon's life. What am I supposed to do now? While he was hesitating, he heard a dispute out in the hallway. He went to investigate and saw Nora standing at the entrance of the stairwell, arguing with the bodyguards. You can't enter without a prior appointment, Miss Smith. Nora looked up, somewhat intimidatingly. I've thought it through, she tried to convince herself. If it means I find my son, then exposing my identity is the fastest way to arrange for the surgery, even if it leads to unnecessary hassle. She said, in that case, please pass on a message for me. Tell Mr. Hunt that... But before she could finish with Athena's looking for him, Lawrence walked over and interrupted her. He seemed slightly amused as he said, Have you decided to come over and spend some time with the child after all, Miss Smith? Nora was puzzled. Lawrence went on, Unfortunately, Mr. Hunt is currently busy and isn't receiving visitors. Unless Athena appears out of thin air, there's no one that can solve his problem anyway, he thought. Nora fell silent for a moment. Then she said, I'll come back tomorrow. By the way, tell Mr. Hunt that I can treat his grandmother if he'd like me to. She walked back to the stairwell and headed downstairs. Lawrence watched her go and sighed. He said to the bodyguard beside him, "That woman is so brazen. Listen to her. She'll make up anything to try and get near Mr. Hunt. How pathetic." The bodyguard asked, what if she really can treat his grandmother? Lawrence dismissed the idea. "I've already looked her up. She's never studied medicine. How could she possibly be of any use?" Nora thought that Justin would come down to look for her after receiving her message. But she didn't hear anything from him, even the next day. His grandmother's condition must not be all that urgent after all. Nora drove to the hospital in the afternoon to do a follow-up check on her aunt. She went straight up to the VIP floor. Lawrence was in the hallway, apologizing to someone. He said, "I'm terribly sorry, Mrs. Anderson. Someone's destroyed the surveillance camera footage, so we didn't manage to see anything. I'll find her for you as soon as I can." Melissa frowned. She was about to give up in frustration when she spotted a familiar figure coming out of the elevator. She rubbed her eyes and looked again. That woman, with a face so gorgeous that it almost seemed like she was showing off. It would be hard for anyone to forget her once they laid eyes on her. Who else could it be other than the woman who had saved her husband's life? She pushed Lawrence aside, took a few steps forward, and grabbed Nora's hand. "It's so wonderful to see you again. Do you work at this hospital?" Lawrence stared in astonishment.
Please subscribe to the Pocket FM YouTube channel and press the bell icon for instant notification. Check out our channel for more such exciting shows.